Nicki Minaj burns bridges with Cardi B, Kylie Jenner, Taylor Swift, and more celebs. Welcome to PopPlug. Let's plug you in.
Let's get plugged in.
Oh, she's good. She's good. What? Oh. Which one? The one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nicki, what happened? It's all over Twitter. You good, Nicki? Who threw the first punch, Nicki? You still good, Nicki? Who threw the punch?
Did Nicki Minaj really wake up one morning and decide that everyone alive, fictional, and historically important had betrayed her? Or did the internet simply cook up the most unhinged piece of satire it could think of and let it fly on threads? That is the exact question people started asking after a viral post claimed to reveal a so-called Nicki Minaj betrayal list. A messy roll call that allegedly included Cardi B, Jay-Z, Drake, Timothée Chalamet, Lizzo, Bad Bunny, Lil Wayne, civil rights icon Rosa Parks, disgraced criminal Jeffrey Epstein, SpongeBob, and even her own fans. It sounds ridiculous, but that is exactly why it hit so hard online, because it felt just believable enough to make people stop and wonder if Nicki has officially reached her villain era or if this was the internet trolling at its finest. And honestly, the answer somehow feels like yes to both. The screenshot that kicked everything off appeared on Threads and looked like a serious call-out list at first glance, which is probably why so many people fell for it before reading twice and laughing. The post claimed Nicki Minaj had been betrayed by a wild mix of industry peers, pop culture figures, internet pages, and completely unrelated names, including Remy Ma, Meek Mill, Safari, Lizzo, Bad Bunny, and even SpongeBob, with Out of Pocket News being listed as the page that uploaded the so-called list. It was so random that it circled right back to believable, especially for anyone who has been keeping up with Nicki's online behavior lately, because at this point, nothing feels too far-fetched when it comes to her public meltdowns and beef-filled rants.
So a user named Peachy V posted this on Threads, and it's basically Nicki's beef list. Now, if I had this much beef, I might be a butcher. Okay, so we have Cardi B and the kids, Little Kim, Remy Ma, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. Okay, so she was beefing with both. SZA, Lotto, Meg Thee Stallion, Gayle, Mona Scott, Quavo, Jason Lee, and Mariah Carey. I love that quote that's circling around when Mariah Carey's like, I didn't know she sang. I thought she rapped. Meek Mill, Hennessy, The Breakfast Club, BET, the Grammy Awards, Rock Nation, everybody else, TMZ, and herself. Nicki Minaj is definitely fighting with herself. That last one is the reality of where this woman's mindset is at. Her biggest competition, in all honesty, is her bringing down herself.
The reason this fake betrayal list went viral so fast is not just because it was funny, but because it matched the energy Nicki Minaj has been putting out for a while now, which many fans describe as chaotic, defensive, and permanently online. Over the past few months, Nicki has been clashing with fellow artists, calling out critics, shading fans who disagree with her, and turning every small issue into a full-blown internet war. She has also openly supported Donald Trump, a move that shocked a large part of her fan base and added fuel to the idea that she is intentionally burning bridges with people who no longer align with her views. For many fans, this support felt like a final straw, especially after years of controversies involving her husband, her constant feuds with other women in rap, and her habit of responding aggressively to even mild criticism. That is why when people saw a list claiming Nicki felt betrayed by everyone from Cardi B to Rosa Parks, they did not immediately dismiss it because it felt like an exaggerated version of what has been happening in real time. One viral tweet summed up the mood perfectly when a user wrote, Nicki Minaj beefing with SpongeBob feels fake, but also extremely on brand at this point, and thousands of people agreed. Again, the reason the fake betrayal list felt so believable is because Nicki Minaj already has a history of dragging old beefs back into the present and turning them into full-blown online wars. The biggest and loudest example is still her never-ending feud with Cardi B, which exploded again in 2025, the moment Cardi's album Am I the Drama debuted at #1. Instead of celebrating another woman's win or staying quiet, Nicki Minaj immediately went online and tweeted $4.99, supposedly mocking the iTunes sale price and suggesting Cardi's success was not real. That single tweet set the tone for everything that followed, and from there, Nicki did what she always does when Cardi apparently wins, she fires on. She mocked Cardi's pregnancy, revived the old Barney B nickname, and even went as far as posting AI-generated images of Cardi as Barney the dinosaur. What made people uncomfortable was how fast the beef moved from music to personal life, with both women throwing insults at each other's families and children. For many fans, this was the moment the feud crossed from rap competition into something darker and harder to defend. It also confirmed what a lot of people already believed, which is that Nicki still sees Cardi's success as a betrayal, not just competition. So when Cardi's name showed up on the fake betrayal list, nobody questioned it, because that beef has never actually ended. It just keeps getting louder every time Cardi reaches a new milestone. As the list spread, people also started revisiting Nicki's past conflicts, and that is how Kylie Jenner ended up back in the conversation. Years ago, Nicki accused Travis Scott of using Kylie's social media presence to boost his album sales and block her from going #1, and instead of directing her anger at him, she publicly insulted Kylie, calling her names online. Kylie never responded, but that's something fans never forgot. Now that the betrayal list has people re-examining Nicki's behavior, that old situation feels less like a one-time outburst and more like part of a pattern where Nicki turns chart frustration into personal attacks, especially when women are involved. Kylie being included in the list is less about current drama and more about how long Nicki has been holding on to grudges that most people moved on from years ago. Then there is Taylor Swift, whose name caused the most confusion. Back in 2015, Nicki and Taylor had their public Twitter clash over the VMAs, later made up and even performed together, turning the drama into what looked like a resolved chapter. What makes things strange now is that Nicki recently praised Taylor's album, The Life of a Showgirl, calling her a battle rapper and complimenting her strategy and writing. That praise shocked people because Nicki is not known for openly supporting women she once argued with. So when Taylor appeared on the fake betrayal list, it felt ironic rather than accurate because Nicki currently sounds more like a fan than an enemy. This contradiction only added to the list appeal, because it showed how unclear and inconsistent Nicki's public relationships have become, where someone can be praised one week and jokingly labeled a traitor the next. All of this ties into a much bigger picture, which is Nicki Minaj's extremely chaotic 2025 to 2026 era that has left even loyal fans feeling tired and confused. This is the same period where she publicly feuded with The Breakfast Club and tagged Donald Trump on social media, asking him to put the radio hosts in prison. She later appeared at a Trump Accounts Summit, accepted a free gold card visa from him, and leaned into political conversations that many fans never expected from her. On top of that came the AmEx fraud allegations, constant online arguments, and her habit of responding to every critic instead of letting things pass. To a lot of people watching from the outside, it feels like Nicki is constantly on defense mode, seeing attacks everywhere and treating criticism as betrayal. That is why the fake betrayal list landed the way it did, because it captured the mood of how Nicki seems to move through the world right now, surrounded by enemies, old beefs, and perceived disloyalty. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly when someone wrote, "The Nicki Minaj betrayal list is fake, but it feels exactly like how she sees the world right now." And that line stuck because it was honest. At the end of the day, the list itself is not real, but the reactions to it reveal something important. Nicki Minaj is still one of the most influential rappers ever, but influence does not protect you from public exhaustion. The internet jokes, memes, and fake lists are a way people process chaos. And right now, Nicki's chaos feels nonstop. Whether she eventually steps back reflects, or doubles down even harder is still unknown. But one thing is clear, people are watching closely, screenshotting everything, and turning every move into a conversation, even when the drama starts as a joke. So what do you think? Is this viral betrayal list just harmless internet humor? Or does it reflect how messy Nicki Minaj's public image has become? Is she defending herself or slowly burning bridges with fans and peers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you do not want to miss more hot celebrity news, breakdowns, and deep dives like this, make sure to subscribe and follow PopPlug to stay plugged in.